A high-level meeting at Miraflores Palace in Caracas recently saw a significant display of solidarity as Cuba, Russia, China, and Iran united to express their support for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. This convergence of international actors underscores the growing geopolitical fault line in the Caribbean and Latin America, particularly in response to rising tension between Caracas and Washington. Roberto Ojeda, Secretary of Organization of the Communist Party of Cuba's Central Committee, played a prominent role in these discussions, unequivocally pledging Cuba's full and unwavering support to Venezuela. This pledge comes at a critical juncture, directly following recent U.S. military deployment in the Caribbean, which Caracas views as a provocative act and a direct threat to its sovereignty. The coordinated stance from these diverse nations, each with its own complex relationship with the United States, signals a collective challenge to U.S. influence in the region and a robust endorsement of Maduro's administration. The meeting served as a powerful platform for these countries to articulate a unified front against perceived external interference, reinforcing a narrative of resistance against perceived Western hegemony. The strategic alignment aims to bolster Venezuela's position on the international stage, providing it with a stronger diplomatic shield amidst heightened regional instability and increasing pressure from Washington. This development is likely to have significant implications for regional security dynamics, potentially leading to a more polarized and contentious geopolitical environment in the Americas. During the meeting, Roberto Ojeda invoked the historical warning issued by Fidel Castro in 2009 regarding the presence of U.S. military bases in Latin America. By recalling Castro's past concerns, Ojeda strategically framed the current U.S. military deployment in the Caribbean as a continuation of a long-standing pattern of perceived interventionism in the region. He emphasized the historical precedent to underscore the gravity of the current situation and to rally support against what he characterized as a persistent threat to regional sovereignty. Ojeda assured President Maduro of the steadfast solidarity from Cuba's party's government and people, signaling a comprehensive and unified commitment to Venezuela. To further demonstrate this resolve, he announced the forthcoming release of an official statement condemning the U.S. action and revealed plans for a citizen signature campaign to publicly denounce the perceived American aggression. This multi-pronged approach, combining diplomatic assurance, a formal declaration, and popular mobilization, is designed to send a clear and unambiguous message to Washington regarding the regional opposition to its military posture. The invocation of Fidel Castro's legacy also served to tap into a deep reservoir of anti-imperialist sentiment within Latin America, aiming to resonate with a broader audience beyond the immediate participant of the meeting. This move effectively elevates the current dispute beyond a bilateral issue between Venezuela and the U.S., framing it within a larger historical and ideological context of regional autonomy and self-determination against external powers. The heightened tension between Caracas and Washington, exacerbated by the recent U.S. military deployment, formed the immediate backdrop for this display of international solidarity. Venezuela has consistently viewed any increase in U.S. military presence in the Caribbean as a direct threat to its national security and a deliberate attempt to destabilize the Maduro government. From Caracas' perspective, these deployments are not merely routine exercise, but calculated maneuvers aimed at exerting pressure and potentially paving the way for further intervention. The U.S., on the other hand, typically frames such a deployment as part of its regional security strategy aimed at combating illicit trafficking, ensuring maritime safety, or conducting joint exercise with allies. However, in the current politically charged atmosphere, Venezuela and its newfound allies interpret actions through a lens of suspicion and hostility. The presence of warship surveillance aircraft or increased troops movement in the vicinity of Venezuelan territorial water fuels narratives of encirclement and external aggression, which Maduro's government frequently uses to consolidate domestic support and justify its international alignment. This reciprocal escalation of actions and rhetoric creates a dangerous feedback loop, where each side perceives the other's move as hostile, leading to further countermeasure and a deepening of mistrust. The Caribbean, a region historically marked by great power competition, once again finds itself as a focal point of geopolitical maneuvering, with significant implications for the stability of its smaller island nations and continental states. The unification of Cuba, Russia, China, and Iran in defense of Venezuela marks a significant development in the evolving multipolar international system, demonstrating a concerted effort to counter U.S. influence in a strategically important region. This alliance of nations, often characterized by their independent foreign policies and sometimes adversarial relationship with the United States, signals a broadening of the geopolitical contest beyond traditional sphere of influence. Each country brings its own strategic interest to this alignment. Cuba, a long-standing U.S. adversary, finds common causes in resisting American pressure. Russia seeks to expand its global reach and challenge U.S. hegemony wherever possible, including in its backyard. China aims to protect its economic investment and strategic partnership in Latin America, viewing U.S. military presence as a potential threat to its burgeoning influence. And Iran, sharing a similar anti-U.S. posture, finds solidarity in opposing perceived American overreach. This emergent coalition presents a complex challenge for U.S. foreign policy, requiring a nuanced approach that acknowledges the diverse motivations and capabilities of these state actors. The explicit support for Maduro, coupled with a unified condemnation of U.S. military action, sets a precedent for increased coordination among these powers in other regions where their interests converge. The Miraflores Palace meeting therefore signifies more than just a pledge of support for Venezuela. It represents a tangible manifestation of a shifting global order, where multiple centers of powers are actively collaborating to assert their influence and reshape the international landscape, potentially leading to increased competition and ideological friction in critical strategic areas worldwide. If you made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I would like to ask you a question. What are the long-term implications of this alliance for U.S. influence in Latin America? Join the debate and let us know your analysis in the comments. Like the video and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.